Welcome back to the Axe Guitar Show, your one-stop shop for budget guitars and gear. If you're new, my name is Nick. Today we're looking at a guitar that's been getting a lot of attention lately. It's an extended range instrument that has a pretty impressive spec sheet, but is perfect for anybody looking to get into the 7-string guitar game. The guitar we're talking about is the Gear for Music 529 Pro fan fret 7-string guitar. Now let me be clear, this isn't just any other 7-string. This thing is really packed with features at a really low price point, and it's got a really nice player-friendly design, unique components that really rival any of the beginner 7-strings out there on the market. And real quick, before we get into the nitty-gritty of the specs and the demo of this bad boy, a little bit about the brand. Gear for Music is a massive online retailer of musical instruments based out of the UK. Just like other big name stores, they have their own guitar line, which is really focused on providing quality instruments at a good cost to get people playing. And speaking of price, the G4M 529 Pro comes in at an awesome price point, in my opinion, at $324. When you consider the specs and the build of this bad boy, you'll see that that price tag does go a very long way. All right, so let's get into the details of this guitar. This comes with a full mahogany body, giving you that warm tone and feel. The real showstopper is the top here. This is a poplar eye burl with a stunning ocean fade satin finish. Also, the back and the sides keep that satin finish. You can see that right here. And that just makes this super smooth, and it makes it feel more expensive than it really is. And then wrapping up the body here, look at the access to these frets. I mean, look at that. You can get to the 24th fret without any issue here. I mean, look, I even have some space. So, I mean, that bolt-on design definitely gives you this cutaway. And you have somewhat of a cutaway on the back here, which gives you real good access for all you shredders out there. This feature is often neglected in the budget guitar world, especially for bolt-ons, so it's really nice to be able to get that access on something at this price point. So flipping this guitar over, you can see this is a bolt-on neck, and it's also a 5-piece neck made with maple and artificial rosewood. Look at that. That is awesome, and it's one solid piece. Also, this thing has a satin matte finish on the back, which makes it super fast and isn't sticky. Sometimes when you have lacquered finish or just really any finish on the back of the neck, it can get a little sticky, especially if your hands get sweaty. So this matte kind of smooth satin finish is awesome for a metal shredder guitar. Making our way to the fretboard here, the fretboard material is laurel, and guys, listen up, we have 24 fan frets that are stainless steel. Yep, stainless steel. The stainless steel alone makes this guitar a contender because, I mean, stainless steel is awesome. You probably will likely not have to do a fret dressing. If you're a huge shredder using the high frets, those tend to get worn over time. That will not happen as fast with this guitar, which is huge. The neck profile here is considered a modern C. When I've played it, it feels pretty thin. I wouldn't say it's quite as thin as like an Ibanez Wizard neck, but it's getting pretty close to that neck profile. And if you haven't noticed, this is a fan fret multi-scale guitar, meaning this guitar has several different scales on it in one instrument. And the scales are really the distance from the nut down to the bridge. The high E string here is on a 25.5-inch scale, which is the standard scale for most metal guitars that have a Floyd Rose. And then your low E string here is on a 27-inch scale, so it's a longer distance from the bridge to the nut. For instance, when we go from low gauge to high gauge, basically skinny to fat, it's really nice to give the scale length a little bit of length, because then you have to tighten the string to get to the same tuning and intonation. And when you tighten the string, it gives you better tension across all of those strings, so it feels a little bit better to play. This is key for those low-end riffs. Have you ever heard, deathcore bands that just sound really, really tight? Those fan frets, multi-scale guitars like this one really helps to keep it from being too muddy. Up at the headstock, we have a sleek gloss black headstock with non-locking Gear for Music branded tuners. All of the hardware on this is black, giving you that, aggressive metal look. The electronics are pretty straightforward and easy to understand. One volume knob, one tone knob, a 3-way selector switch, and soap bar pickups here, which are aggressive ceramic, probably Gear for Music branded pickups. In the demo, you'll hear just how aggressive these things can be. I think they're pretty good output for the price of this guitar. All right, while specs are important, hearing how it plays and feeling how it plays is a whole different story. So we'll plug this thing into my PV Invective MH head, and then we'll play some clean tones, some dirty tones, and we'll do some leads as well. But first, if you enjoy the content, consider subscribing below so you don't miss the latest on budget guitar gear around the metal world. Let's do it! Alright guys, so hey, what did you think? The 529 Pro is a blast to play. This thing is great for pumping out deathcore, metalcore riffs, even phenomenal for leads, but it's not perfect. Let's get into some important pros and cons about this budget guitar. Let's start with the pros. This neck feels absolutely incredible. Not only does it have the satin finish, but the 5-piece neck just feels solid, and then also you have that really deep cutaway for the access to the 24th fret. I mean, when I bring my hand down here, I can get to the pickup. It's really actually quite astonishing. Also, I really like the tension across the strings. That really is a tribute to the fan fret design. When I was doing my leads up here, it felt like it was just like a normal guitar, and then it felt tight at the top with the chunky riffs. I really just have two gripes with this guitar, and the first one has to deal with like the tuning. When I first got it, I had to keep tuning it and make sure it was, you know, intonated and in tune. And then I thought that would go away over time, but this thing does need to be tuned pretty frequently, especially if you're playing those aggressive riffs and leads. And then secondly, while I do love these pickups and the design and the soap bar look, these things are a little bit muddy. Now, when you get stock pickups like this guitar offers a great platform to upgrade the pickups. You can throw a pair of awesome Seymour Duncans in here that have that soap bar look to really elevate this guitar. And that plays into why I really like this guitar. It has an impressive spec sheet while also not breaking the bank, so you can spend your money on this guitar if you're maybe looking to get into the 7-string game, if you're a beginner that really loves deathcore. This is a great option because you're not going to be too cheap when you get it. I think you're going to get some strong specs that really make that $324 pay you dividends. I can safely say that this is one of the most fun guitars that I've played this year. This 7-string is phenomenal to play stuff like Fit for an Autopsy or Thy Art is Murder. The only thing is I'm probably gonna switch out the pickups and throw in some locking tuners at the top. But from there, this is gonna be a perfect guitar that I'm gonna hang up right here on the rack and play regularly. But I wanna know what you think. Let us know in the comments what you think of this guitar and what 7-string you're using out there. All right guys, thanks for watching the video. Go ahead and hit subscribe down below so you don't miss any budget guitar gear, and I'll see you next time.